need to send it to her though, because
Hi, this is Ava Howard, and I'm reporting live at our very first home game of our season. I'm standing here in front of our awesome student section. Back to you, Noah and Ryan.
Okay, it's more now.
Yeah, I know. And welcome back, everybody. We have 2 minutes left in this halftime show, and we're about to send it over to my friend Noah, who is up here in the booth with me. And my name is Ryan Griggs, and I'm with
Noah Franklin. We're about to send it down to Ava Hapgood down on the sidelines, folks. So, folks, you know, it's been a great half so far, 17-0 Page High. You know, you're really seeing the defense come into play. Already a pick, a fumble, and a punt block, not to mention countless sacks and, you know, and hits for loss.
Oh, of course. We have all this defense on our hands, and we have all this offense. And we have a bunch of stuff on our hands, and we are working hard, and we are doing a lot of things together to work around this offense and defense. But the problem is that Siegel, they're struggling getting their offense together, and they're struggling getting their defense together, and just nothing's like connecting right now. And when it does,
Ryan.
And when it like gets together, it's not working together. If you hear me, because we have our defense from Page who's struggling to. I mean, who's actually working really well, not struggling.
You know, and like we've said all night, folks, we have seen. You know, Nolan Henry be such a factor on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, we have Nick Hurd as a linebacker. We got all these guys working really hard.
Well, you know, Nolan Henry is not filling up the stat sheet with, you know, your interceptions and you know, all that stuff. He's still definitely getting the tackles and the yards for loss.
Oh, yeah. And so we got all this work that needs to be done. And as we come down to the start of this game, to the start of the second half, with 5 seconds left, we're going to send it on over to my friend Noah real quick. And I'm going to let him do it for a little bit.
You know, and so far it's been a little bit of a, you know, crazy game as far as, you know, the excitement level has been. You know, the fans, both of them, both sides, Siegel and Page, has been active and hyped the whole game. Even though it's been one-sided so far, you know, 17-0, not something that, you know, the losing team usually gets excited for. But Siegel's still over here cheering and being enthusiastic. Their band came out, did their thing during halftime. Their football team now rushing onto the field, getting ready for the half to begin. And you know, we're just about to send it down to our sideline reporter, Ava Hapgood. You know, this is a new thing for Page High Football News, and we're just really excited to introduce it. So now, back to Ava Hapgood.
All right, I'm here with Thomas Hunt and Andrew Sullivan, and they are our student section leaders. How do you guys feel after all these years of being in high school, you are finally a student section leader?
Well, it's really fun because last year I got to hang out down there and be a flag runner, but I got to take in kind of what being a section leader is. So being able to rise into that role this year was really fun, and it's super fun to get everybody hype on game day.
So
that's awesome. Thomas, how do you feel?
Oh, it's just a lot of fun, you know, being down here with all of our friends and stuff. And last year, you know, kind of was slacking, but you know, we got student council, the cheerleaders, you know, everybody kind of stepped up to make this year great, so it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. How do you guys feel about this year's season?
Well, I think we're going to be really good. I like the team. The offense is super fun to watch, and the defense is forcing a lot of turnovers. Some it'll be a tough game, but I think we're going to have a good chance to win.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we got a bunch of good players. A lot of them getting looks at colleges and stuff, and you know, we're up 17 in the second game, won the first game, 2-0 is not bad for a start, so.
It's not bad at all. All right, thank you guys. All right, and Ryan and Noah right back.
Great interview, Ava. Thank you. So now we are about to kick this off.
Wow, great interview, Ava. You know, just thank you for, you know, being able to.
So that was a great interview, Ava. But now we're going to kick it over to down to the field. And we have our offense standing over there, and we got our defense standing over here. And I believe that, are they punting the ball to, I believe that we're receiving the kickoff.
Yes, we did kick off the ball to start with, I do believe.
So,
and that
yes,
was when we forced that great, you know, a couple minutes in, we had that great fumble and we got the ball back, and that was where everything started.
Yeah, so we haven't seen them kick off the ball yet, but I kind of want to see how they do. Like, I want to see like how they form, like what their formation is, and
You're
like.
right. I mean, every team is different as far as like what type of kicker you have. What type of formation the coach likes when you start running the ball down the field for those kick returns. Definitely something to watch for.
Oh yeah, and especially like the type of running that they have. Like, do they have like somebody fast running? Like, who do we have like out in the backfield, like out like deep, where like in our end zone? Like, are we gonna are we gonna do a touchback? Are we gonna run the ball? Are we gonna like try to get out of bounds and stop the clock early so we can like try to get one more touchdown and then like milk the clock out of the rest of the game? But I wonder what we're gonna do on this play, because I mean, we can go to the outside, we can go to the inside, we can do whatever we want on this play, and it's a half. It's the start of a half. We just came off a break. We got a mind relaxer, but keep in mind, Siegel is also, they had that break as well, so they had that mental break, and they had that like physical break, and they had that time to relax. So,
I definitely agree, Ryan. Each team's mentality, it could be totally changed during halftime. You can see one team mentally dominate the other. And I think the mental game is definitely where it starts, right? You don't start a game with pure skill. A lot of it's definitely mental.
So they're running this where they have a guy at the they have guys lined along the 50 for like squib kicks and onside kicks. They got guys at the 40 in case that gets through. And we got guys all the way at the 15. We got Bubba Johnson, and I believe that's Simon Simmons. It is Simon.
Yeah, it sure is.
There. That's usually your faster guys.
They definitely are. Bubba Johnson's a great running back, very elusive, very strong. And then Simon Simmons is just pure speed. We saw him earlier just blaze some guys.
Yeah, they're really fast. They're both working the ball. Simon, great wide receiver and great defensive back.
And that's just because he's just got that speed. Like,
oh yeah,
the skill is there. It's worked.
And here we go. So we are going to let this one roll out the back end of the end zone.
We sure are. That's great field position as far as we're talking 20-yard line. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing wrong at all.
It's a great way to. And we have no problem. We've had worse this game, and we've had those great clutch passes. I mean, remember 3rd and 9 in the first. So I think second quarter where he threw that insane pass over there.
Oh yeah.
And there was these things that happen over there. Hayes Barnett over there on the defensive side just doing great things.
Of course.
But you see Cade Walker doing the right thing on offense.
We need to talk about Cade.
We definitely do, and you just see him do the right thing.
He gets so much recognition, and I believe that he deserves more and more and more.
I mean, even today, you see him do those few incompletions I do have. They're all for the right reasons, He's under pressure. He throws the ball under the pocket.
Started varsity as a senior. He beat out Max. Oh, and yep, they're gonna do personal. They're gonna call that one. So that'll be a 10-yard penalty or 15, depending on what they give him. So what?
Yeah, on. Who's penalty on, Ryan?
I believe that was on 25, but I'm not confirmed.
On Siegel's side?
Yes, sir.
Right, 25 on Siegel's side would be Austin Watson.
So we're going to work on our team as a whole. We need to work on. All right, so we need to work on our offensive drive because
but I have to say there's not been much wrong with the offensive drive.
No,
it's still been very skillful. I think that there's definitely places to work on, but overall, 17-0, you got to give credit to the offensive line and the offensive players.
Of course.
They're doing their job. And they're scoring points, and I think there could be more points scored. He's going down.
Lay down the backfield.
And folks, we just want to cut one more time to Ava Hab go down the sidelines.
All right.
Yeah. All right, I'm here with an alumni, Nick Jackson, who graduated last year. Nick, how does it feel to be back in the stands?
Miss Hapgood, it feels pretty nice. I love watching the seniors this year and how much they've grown. And it feels good to be back.
Are you a little teary-eyed? I can see a tear forming. Are you a little nostalgic right now?
No, I don't tear up. I mean, I tear up. I just don't cry a lot. But yeah, I love every single one of them, and I wish them the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick.
I love you, Cade Walker.
Oh my God. All right. Thank you. Back to you, Noah and Ryan.
All right, so we're back. Great interview, Ava. So I'm back. I'm Ryan, and I'm back with Noah Franklin. And
Yes, sir.
so not much happened. We got sacked in the backfield, so we lost some yards.
And that was tough. They
Yeah.
had the full blitz. They showed the zone, and just everybody came in blazing. I don't think there's much that Cage can do in that kind of situation.
And especially their defense. I mean, their O-line. They've done so much work, and they just tried. They've done so much work to like stop the ball and allow them to advance and allow nobody through. But every once in a while, they're going to get through. And they almost got through again, but that's going to be a lob pass, and that's going to be, just barely missed it.
So close. What a heartbreaker.
The problem is, if he caught that, he would have.
This is when you start to see the true team, third and fourth quarter, because they're starting to get worn out, and they're starting to tear down, and you start seeing the true player,
Oh, yeah. They start getting tired. All this smash mouth football that you're talking about, that they're running it through. And the problem is, at this point in the game, both teams are tired. They've had to stop the run game. And this is when you'll start to see teams start airing it out, and they'll start working on that deep pass and that short pass that they'll get those flare routes on and get a good 5-10 yards on those.
I agree, Ryan. And not only do these teams airing it out, you see teams making errors.
Oh, yeah.
You see teams making errors in the game.
Yes.
In every play. You start seeing little tiny flaws that weren't there in the first quarter.
Yeah,
because,
you see guys
first quarter
blocking.
You're still fresh and you're still ready and you're still hyped off the warm-ups.
And they're going to go false start on number 9.
On Page, yeah. That's going to be Reed Evans. I do believe he's a senior,
Yes, he is a senior.
That's got to be tough for him. A lot of football. It is a skill. It is a physical game, right? Football is a physical game, but it's also
of course.
very much a mental game.
Yeah,
it's very much what goes on in your head, not.
So we need to worry about all these guys working, and they need to keep their brains fresh, and they need to focus. I mean, it gets later and later in the game, and they need to breathe, and they need to, and they're going to air it out again, as we're saying, and that is going to be.
It's almost another heartbreaker. That's going to be 4th down and 17. They're going to punt it because it's on the 28-yard line of Page. But I think that, Page is just at this point, I think they're trying their plays.
So
I think they're just trying new plays. They're trying plays that they haven't necessarily pulled out because it is 17-0. They have that wiggle room, to mess around.
Yeah. And so the problem is with their defense. We missed that ball, but if we catch that, that's a heartbreaker for them. But they missed that, and the guys
right.
oh yeah.
And see, the thing is that
play.
That's not on Siegel. Siegel's defense had nothing to do with that catch. That was just a little too far, and he wasn't running quite fast.
That was a bit of an
So
overthrow.
I think that the problem with that is that while Siegel, may think that they did so. Oh, it's a trick play.
No.
Never mind. He just walked. Okay, I'm not
thing.
used to this kind of stuff.
Oh.
Muffed it.
He muffed it, and he's
And
going
he
to run
still got
around
it.
towards the inside of your screen. And they're
good
they're
blocking
going
by
to call
Siegel.
blocking the back on them. Yeah.
Oh, but still a hard hit.
It's going to be blocking the back, and that's going to be brought back to about the 30.
But, you see the sportsmanship, even by the injured player on Siegel, even by the injured player who's number 21 on Siegel.
Yeah, he's still picking
Ethan
him up.
Van Hook still brought up number 30. I mean, just great sportsmanship by the Siegel Stars.
Yeah.
And you see that, and that's what you love about the game, right, is that when it comes down to it, football is just a game.
Yeah, and we do need to focus on this flag that was called. They're going to bring this. It's a block in the back. I saw it. It was clearly. It was
very clear block in the back.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just love to see the sportsmanship, and the team say, "Hey, look, we know it's just a game."
Yeah.
And while it means a lot to us, it's at the end. When it comes down to it, it's not life or death, right?
No,
it's a game.
No.
And that's what you love to see, that
and
sportsmanship.
So they're going to put them back on the 30-yard line, I believe. All right, so we're going to send this back down to Ava. And so
we'll see you in a bit.
Here we go.
All right, here I am in the student section this time. I'm here with Sophia Ricoli, Jeremy Stokes, and Jacob Kukulia. Jacob, how does it feel to be a senior this year?
It honestly feels amazing. I love it.
Really? Jeremy, how are your classes as a senior?
Definitely harder than I expected, but
And Sophia, is being a senior what you dreamed it would be?
Always lives up to the dream.
All right, thank you guys so much. Back to you, Noah and Ryan.
And then the girls coming back at a full sprint. So
And so we are. Oh, wait.
are we live?
No.
Oh, but the girls coming back, so we won't even have it in a second. I have the thing. I have the intro this time. Huh? I'm going to bring it in and say welcome back.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say welcome back and then you.
No, I'll say it and you can say.
All right, I'm going to say great interview and then I'll send it over to you.
Hey, when are we back on?
Tell us when. Tell us when. Nobody right now. Nobody right now. Shoemake just got to it. Hey, where's Ava right now?
Where's Ava?
Kylie.
We can talk to her too, so.
Kylie, where's Ava right now?
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back, folks. This is Page Eye Football. I'm sorry about the little bit of tech. Oh, my word, what a hit. And he got up. I'm sorry about that, folks. You know, just a little bit of minor technical difficulties over here in Page Eye News. This is Page Eye News. I am Noah Franklin. This is Ryan Griggs standing by. It is 17-0. 8:45 left in the third quarter. Page Eye versus Siegel.
I'm very sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine, Ryan. I'm sure the folks at home love to hear that.
Of course. So
you know, it's been an interesting it's been a story, you know, for the team as far as this game goes. You know, telling what's you know, this is kind of one of the things where from this game, what do we predict going on farther on in the season? Oh my word!
It was a flip outside and he got lit.
But again, a gain of at least 7.
Yeah, still though.
Oh, they're moving the chains. That's a first down.
No, they're not moving the chains.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're gonna give him 7 on that one.
They're gonna give him 7 on that one. Oh, they gave him 6.
Yeah,
so I mean, 6. But still a good gain. A good gain.
Yeah.
8 minutes left.
Again, though, he came around that corner. He came up in the defense.
He
just
got
rocked
lit
him.
up.
Yeah.
You know.
The guys want to know.
So.
Oh, it's a pitch.
They're gonna do a flip again.
Oh,
and he's gonna get driven down this time.
That's a gain of 0 for Siegel, folks.
Oh,
that was number 13 of
and that's something
Siegel.
you need to worry about. Number 5, Nick Hurd,
Maddox
had a slow
Purvis.
get up, and
You know,
that's something you need to watch.
Maddox Purvis, you know, somebody we haven't seen run the ball before this game, just somebody new. And that's where Siegel's been interesting as far as they ran
a new running back every quarter.
Yeah, they really do, because they ran Pat Boykins the whole first quarter, you know.
And then they had Julian Walton and a couple other guys running the ball in the
Yeah,
second.
they had Cam McGuire, and now it's Maddox Purvis. So you see this change, and it's very systematic over on. There's definitely a reason. We don't understand the reason over on Siegel's side.
Yeah,
but
they
there's
have Julian
definitely a
Walton
reason.
back there again.
And it's going to be a throw.
Oh, picked off! Oh, and he got room! He got room!
Oh my word! Oh my word! Oh my word!
Number 18, Rodney. Oh wait, take that back. Number 18, Simon Simmons. He caught that and he brought that back about 25 yards.
We did talk about him earlier.
We talked about his eyes and we talked about his motion towards the ball.
And we're also talking about both sides of the ball. Yes. This man has made plays on defense. This man has made plays on offense.
And kickoff.
And on kickoff. This man has done everything on every side of the ball tonight, boys.
Yes, he's done everything he's been asked. And keep in mind, this team is Siegel is a 6A team, and we are a 5A. We are a whole division below them. But
and we're kicking their butts.
Yeah, and we're kicking their butts. And it is now first and 10.
It is first and 10 on the 11-yard line. Thanks to an amazing interception and run by Simon Simmons for at least 25 yards.
Oh, of course. Maybe 30.
I mean, it was a great play, almost with a touchdown.
And they're going to give a run to Bubba Johnson, and he's going to get 2 yards,
I would say that the offense is it's crazy. It's a three-way game. You got Cade Walker taking the snaps. You got Bubba Johnson taking the touches. And on the other side, you got Simon Simmons just taking the speed and taking it home.
Oh, of course.
You know, we saw Bubba Johnson earlier with that insane just burst of energy, just taking it right down 20 yards to the touchdown.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, these are these things. We come off of halftime, and like things are a bit sluggish. Like you could see in that first couple minutes, they had a nice little drive against us. But you have all these things, these factors that play in that end up us like.
Oh, definitely.
Getting back to where we are at this moment on the 8-yard line.
It's a little wake-up call, right, when they start driving on. Oh, Bubba Johnson again.
Bubba Johnson on the outside.
We
have on the play, and that's a touchdown.
But there's a flag on the play, but it was touchdown Bubba Johnson.
Yeah.
And that's still a touchdown. So,
and I do believe that was maybe a holding on the wide receiver. Yeah, they're going to call holding on us. So we're going to get moved back. We're going to get moved back to the 19.
Don't negate that play by Bubba Johnson.
Oh, no, of course.
Still
he got around that corner. And I don't know.
You got to give credit to Bubba Johnson.
At this moment,
you know, not having Bubba Johnson, one of the best players on the team, not having as many touches as we normally see him have. I mean, still, the impact on the team is not necessarily necessarily the touches, right?
Yeah.
It's just him being on the field, right? It just elevates everybody else's game, just him being on the field.
Yeah, but right now I do believe that even though that there was a holding, I do believe that he would have probably run him over if they were going.
No doubt.
Yeah, if he would have gotten across that block.
By the way,
so
folks,
if anything, that guy that held right there, he saved that man a favor. He did that man a favor.
Okay, by the way, folks, it's second down and 19-yard lines. On the 21st.
And they're going to send a full blitz.
Oh, he caught Bubba Johnson.
He
Dropped
dropped it.
Third and 19, folks. You know what? When worse
I
comes,
think they were supposed to let them through, and they were just going to dump it right over the lineman and just let them run for it.
but I think Cage just got a little. I think they were a little faster than they anticipated.
Yeah,
right?
I don't believe that they were expecting them to shoot
I think they're
off that
anticipating the sluggishness you get off the half.
Oh yeah,
And I think that's That's not what happened. I think that Siegel's a little fired up after that crazy play. That crazy interception. That's 2 picks off of Siegel's quarterback, number 16, Tucker Sears. And he's just been a little off tonight. You normally see guys like that 6A football starting quarterback varsity. You see them do a little better than 2 picks in a game. And I know, at high school, it's high school football, and you think that the skill level is the same. But I mean, these days, high school football has become a lot more of an elevated form of football.
Oh, of course.
It's a lot more competitive than it's ever been before. Yeah. It's a lot more skilled than it's ever been before.
Especially in our division and the division above us. Like, in this state, it's
you see a lot of guys from Tennessee go on to play in the NFL.
We have football that's really competitive here, and we also have baseball. On a website, WCS was announced that it was like one of the toughest divisions in the state, and it's like number 14 in the United States of America.
I've traveled a lot during the fall, and I've seen a lot of different football games in a lot of different states, high school football. And I would say there's only one state that's better that I've seen better play at football than high school football in Tennessee, and that would be Texas. And I think there's obvious reasons for that,
Yeah, well,
I mean, Texas football is known for Texas football. Tennessee football is not known, but it's definitely there. Yeah. It's definitely there.
You go out to Texas, and there are these high school games where you get 5,000 people in attendance.
It's their high school stadiums are bigger than almost UT.
They spend millions of dollars on these stadiums that are the size of football stadiums.
No, I know, it's crazy.
NFL, MLB.
But you see, what's different is that the stadium here at Page High School may be different, but the skill level is very similar. Yeah. We're seeing some elite game out of Bubba Johnson tonight.
And you feel the same energy.
The energy is the fans over there in the Page High fan section. You see the fans are crazy today, folks.
So I would like
to
shout out.
They have been up on their feet every single play, every single.
And he's gonna lay this one out, and it's gonna be
a little too far, but it was still a good throw, and that's 4th and 19. We're gonna kick it, folks, to be 20 and 0.
So real quick, I'm gonna shout out our athletic director, Benji Gray. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be allowed to do this, and we wouldn't have any of this that we have right now.
This platform.
We wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have the fans. We wouldn't have the student section. We wouldn't have the concession stand.
We wouldn't have us filming and commentating on this TV on this game right now.
We wouldn't be able to do anything that we're doing right now if it wasn't for him.
Definitely a big shout out to Coach Gray for sure.
Yeah.
He's done some great things for even today pep rally. What did the man do?
Ate some cupcakes. And that is 5 for 5 for Chase Tidmore.
Man, and we were talking about him earlier, just Chase Tidmore being a clutch player.
And that makes it back to 3.
In a position you wouldn't expect. You wouldn't expect a kicker to be the clutchest player. But then I guess you do, because NFL, talking about Chicago Bears, Philadelphia Eagles,
Adam Vinatieri, other guys like that. You think of these, Pat McAfee, even though he's retired now, if you go look at his replays, he's made some amazing
They impacted not necessarily the game of football, but they impacted the games of football in which they played.
Yeah, and they influence people around them, and they give them this heart that even though they can't do this certain thing, that they're like that hype man that when there's 2 seconds left on the clock and you're down at the 40.
That's the beautiful thing about the game of football, is that you can spread the emotion that you can spread the emotion that even though you might not be able to play the sport.
And so, but think about this. The kickers, they influence the game amazingly.
And you see those kind of guys. You see your kickers and you see your linemen who aren't necessarily the most looked at players, but you see the energy they give out can show somebody who can't play football.
These linemen, you see
people
these
who
guys.
are maybe in wheelchairs. Their spirit, those spirit of people who are made fun of and booed because they're not a skill position. You see those people send a message to everybody else who can't, that look, we can do something, even if it's not the coolest thing out there, and that can give a message to anybody, not necessarily a sports fan, and that's the beautiful thing.
Even these linemen, you get these linemen, you don't see anybody wearing their jersey. You're not going to see somebody with somebody's jersey on, and you're not going to. If I had to name a center right now in the league, I couldn't name a single one.
I don't know, Maybe on my team because that's my team.
But the thing is, it's hard to know. Like you don't see anybody wearing jerseys of them. You see big names like J.J. Watt. Like he's one of the only linemen. Uh-oh.
Oh wow.
And they're gonna see Chase Tidmore make a tackle.
The kicker with the tackle that sealed what could have been a kick return for a touchdown.
And again,
what a play. Chase Tidmore really putting in work.
Yes, Chase Tidmore, his older brother, Christian Tidmore, played here last year. They took that. He graduated. He's now a firefighter, and he started college yesterday. I was talking to him earlier today. And I was talking to him earlier today about how like college has been going for him, and he's having a lot of fun. And so, as we conclude with that, I'm going to send this down to Ava Hapgood, who is down with another interview.
We're waiting. All right, we are here with our beloved coach, Andy Gray. How do you feel about this year's season?
Well, you know, we have a lot of high hopes coming into this season, returning district champs and region champs, 23 seniors, I believe. So expectations are high. You know, big game next week against rival Shelbyville. They're currently ranked 1 in the region. You know, we're ranked 3. So I feel like they're going to try to come in here and give us our first L. I don't see it happening.
I don't see it either. Also, how does it feel to watch all of these seniors that you knew as freshmen be all grown up?
Well, just because they're seniors doesn't mean that their maturity level has gotten any better, but it's great to see all the accomplishments they've had, both in the classroom and on the field. And as an athletic department, we always wish them the best, and hopefully they'll go on collegiately or be successful in whatever they choose.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Noah and Ryan.
Great interview, Ava. So, welcome back. I'm Ryan, and this is Noah. That was a great interview by Ava Hapgood. And so, as we were talking about, like the kicker, they influence the game on a new level.
You know, and it's just because the impact of them being on the field, right? It's, you know, you see all these big names, but on the field to the team, they aren't necessarily the big people, right? You know, it's the personalities and the leadership that you don't necessarily know from being a fan, right? Like, you know, us being in high school, we know who are the leaders of our teams, right? We know who's the captain and who has the most influence in the locker room. But when you get to a higher level, those guys might be the, you know, the biggest. Oh, almost a stop in the backfield run and a gain of 2.
Maybe 1. I think they might hold him at 1.
Number 18 is coming in for Siegel. That'll be Rodney Randolph. He's ran earlier. Oh, looks like he'll run again.
So let's talk about the kicker again. The kicker's an influential player because you get down with, in the fourth quarter, it's 20 to like 19 or 21.
And that's what changes the game. You know, we saw that Chicago, Philadelphia. You know, what was that, the wild card game, I believe?
I believe so, yeah.
Or, no, it was the wild card game. The NFC wild card game, you know, a sneak by the number 16.
That's going to be held down.
But, you know, we saw that last year, and we saw them, you know, that kicker over for Chicago just miss. You know, hit the iron and then the bottom of the iron of that field goal, and he lost the game for them. You know, and that's because that's when the kickers really come to crunch time.
Yeah.
And that's when, you know.
Well, it's one of those things.
And you know, and you wonder why they get paid so little. You know, because honestly they mean so much to the team when you think about it.
If you think about it, like if you go back a couple years to when Seattle played Vikings in the playoffs.
Oh.
It was 13 to like 14 with like 20 seconds remaining, and the Vikings shanked a kick, and that sent Seattle deeper into the playoffs. They ended up losing 2 weeks later, but, I mean, they did good enough to where since that kicker missed, they influenced other things, allowing them to go farther and farther. But if you also go back and you see, like, these kickers kick, like, 66-yard field goals with, like, 2 seconds left.
That's just a crazy feat. When you think about the athleticism, you have to have the kick. You
have to have the leg power.
I mean, if you run 50 yards, you know, the fastest people in the NFL can run 40 yards in, you know, maybe 4.5 seconds, right?
Oh, of course.
And then you add another 20 yards to that, you're talking maybe 6-7 seconds, right? Of sprinting the dead fast people in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
7 seconds.
Yeah.
A kicker has to kick an object that far.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
They have the wind.
Yeah, you got the wind. You have the pressure of somebody trying to smack you.
Yeah.
Trying to hit you.
You have a guy. You have a whole 11 guys facing you.
Oh, a spin move.
About to just like take you out.
Noah Harwell, a spin move. Like, did not do anything.
Even though their job is to isn't to hit you, it's to smack the ball down. but their job is to get the ball from leaving, like from getting kicked. And so you have to do this in a certain time, and it's hard to do because you got all these guys running at you, and it's like all this motion
totally
in your
agree.
head.
Moving forward, folks, we got Siegel, 3rd and 12 on the 40-yard line of Siegel. And snap goes. Oh, it's going to be a QB sneak. Oh, he's going to run.
Oh, he's going to get
but he got hit by 4 or 5 guys, but still a gain of about 4.
Yeah,
it is 4th and 8, though, it looks like it'll be. And, folks, just looking at the defense, we got some new guys out there again. Hayes Barnett, number 16. What an impact he's had to this game. Crazy interception. Spun back around, probably ran back 5 yards, then gained at least 30. It was a crazy play. 4th and 10 is the official reading, and that's going to be a great point. But it looks like they might go for it, Ryan.
Oh, no, they're going to punt it. We got a guy back here in the back. They're definitely going to punt it. But
oh, yeah, I didn't even look that far back.
Nah, you're good, son. They got a penalty. Let's see what this is.
I think it might have been play clock, Ryan.
It might have been.
I think that's delay a game. That's what it looks like to be.
Oh, no, an illegal substitution.
Oh, did not tell the refs that he was in a sub.
Yeah. So that's
that's
going to cost Page though, because that's 5 yards that they could have stopped.
But still, the punt's coming. They're not going to.
Yeah, but here's the problem: if they do decide to run some play, it's easier now.
And I see. Do you not see? I think one of the guys who ran earlier, number 9.
Oh yeah, see, just like we were saying.
And he made it. That's going to be a first.
No, they're going to stop him. Oh, there's a fumble, and that's a Page ball. That's another fumble.
That's 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, and a punt block for the Page defense, not to count sacks and hits for loss. This is
interceptions,
Page.
everything. This defense has had everything going for them.
100% about the Page defensive game.
And you called it too. We were talking about.
I really did. I said they're going to sneak it right now, and then it's just you see Siegel. They're desperate. It is 3rd quarter with a minute left. 20-0. They're being embarrassed. They're being slaughtered.
Yeah.
And so they got to go for something.
Well,
and they messed it up.
Yeah. There's 3 minutes. There's 1 minute left in the 3rd quarter.
1 minute and 1 second.
Yeah. They're down 20
they're being
to
slaughtered.
nothing.
So, it's at this point when the coaches of Siegel are like, we got to do something just to score
something out.
Because you can't go into the next week saying we've lost 2 games.
Oh, and they're going to do a little flare pass out to number 13, Miles Bond. And he's going to stiff arm him right into the ground, and that's going to get the student section cheering.
Guess who you see out there? Cade Ash, we talked about him earlier, now playing on the O-line. Is he playing center?
Yeah, I believe he's the center right now.
He's one of those undersized guys who's just got a lot of muscle and a lot of grit and a lot of heart.
Again, though, if you go in the Page weight room, he's leading. He's on the leaderboards of every single weight. He's leading on power clean.
This is somebody. He is playing center, yes, sir.
Yeah, he is.
Cade Ashman. He's about 5'8", 5'9", maybe 5'10" at most.
5'8", 5'10".
5'10" in 3-inch shoes, maybe.
Yeah.
But you see him really doing work.
Oh, and he's gonna shoot around that side.
Look at the protection. And that, barely, just a little bit off the fingers of Miles Bond. Cade Walker, out there just doing work. 72. Jacob Dahl is back. What news? Jacob Dahl on the field. The injury, no big deal. I guess he's back in playing. What news for Page High? Like, the morale's got to be back up. William Romero and Jimmy Brown are also out there. Actually, William Romero and Trip Hancock are out there. Along with, on the wide receivers, you got Till Cheshire. You got Miles Bond. You got 19, which is Evan Ankrum. So we got not to be confused with Evan Ingram of the New York Giants.
So we got Trip Hancock. Plays on the baseball team. Heck of a hitter. Can hit the ball.
And you know that relies in football. He's got that arm strength that you need.
He has that arm power.
He's gutting it out. That's going to be almost picked off. Luckily not. That was number 29 with the almost pick over at Siegel. Number 29 on Siegel, Sean Byers. A tough play, still hit the ball.
I do believe that if he tried to two-hand catch that, he would have had that. He tried to one-hand.
He tried to show. See, that's when you see Siegel. They're losing and mentally.
They're trying to add that height back.
They're trying they're trying to show off, but it's not working for him. You see him miss that catch, and it's sad that they have to do that. But
and when he gets pulled in a minute, that they're
4th and 5, folks. Page will be punting at the 45-yard.
Yeah, and you know that when he comes off the field in the moment, coach is going to get mad at him. Oh, or actually, take that back. I do believe that I know why he did that. I think he was just swatting at it because it's 4th down now, so they're going to punt it.
And they do want that better field position.
They do want that better field position because they have a higher chance.
Although, with the way that Chase Tidmore's been playing, this punt could barely end up through the uprights. Not a true field goal, but you see this happen in the NFL where they fly through. You play Madden a little bit. It goes through the uprights, And you see that could happen with the way Chase Siegel was playing 5 for 5 from the field goal. Great kickoffs. He even had that great hit, clutch hit where that could have been a touchdown off the kick, and just hit the guy. What Chase Siegel definitely doing well.
So let's talk about the assistant coaches. I know Charles Rathbone, Coach Magochi, and Mr. Burdick get a lot. But I do believe that we need to talk about the other coaches because they do add a lot of the coordination and allowing people to know.
Let's just talk about Charles Hatcher for a little bit. What a community figure, right?
Yeah.
Like what a man of the community.
Makes milk.
Charles Hatcher
teaches.
For those of you who don't know, all of you should, if you're around the 615 area, you probably had, Hatcher Dairy Farms milk, right?
Yeah.
It's at you'll say local Tennessee or whatever, and it's right over. I think it's on down Arno, right, somewhere.
Yeah, something like that.
It's near. It is near Page, but up until last year, he was the ag teacher here at Page.
Yeah. He didn't teach this year.
He's not teaching this year, but he's coaching football and he's making milk. And these are just the things that just show you football is not only.
He touched it.
It's not a game; it's a community aspect.
Page touched it.
And so it's very interesting to see.
Yeah, so he gave up his time making milk. Well,
Which
he still made milk.
It's a profitable business over there, like Hatcher Dairy.
Yeah,
and that's good.
He made the money.
We are not. Can I just say we're not sponsored by Hatcher Dairy milk, but I encourage you to go try some of that stuff. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. And so we talk about them working all this, and him doing all this, but keep in mind that he came in and taught every day. He was up at 5:30 every morning to get here about 6:30 to teach and work an entire school day.
Stay after school to work on football.
And then stay after school and work with work with football and do everything for them and encourage them to grow. And also, let's talk about Coach Smith, Coach Wolf, Coach Klug, Coach Underwood, both Coach.
We got
Polks.
Chris Polk and Miller Polk.
Yeah. But if we talk about them, and that's going to be an incomplete pass.
Almost complete. He dove out of bounds.
He almost trapped that.
That would have been a crazy catch had it happened.
Of course. Yeah, that would have really given them hype points right before they go into the fourth quarter because we have 16 seconds left in the third.
And you don't see Siegel making much of the field position before the quarter.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things.
This could very well end up being a 2-0. End up being Page 2-0 with 2 straight shutouts, which would be very cool.
Oh, of course.
Very. You go into game 3 against a big-time opponent who we're playing next week?
We play Shelbyville next week.
Going to a bigger opponent like Shelbyville, I believe that's in our district or in our region, right?
Yes, sir.
One of those regions.
Oh, that's not good.
Big run. Oh, this could be a touchdown.
And they're going to
run this is going to end the shutout for Page, folks. That's number 23.
That's going to be an 85-yard run right there. He's going to get every single inch of that one. He's going to feel that
one. That's Pat Boykins, folks. We talked about him earlier being a big impact in Smash Mouth football. We talked about his impact in the fourth quarter, asking how he's going to act. Folks, I think we just got our answer. An 85-yard touchdown, Pat Boykins of Siegel.
And that's not what you want going into the fourth quarter. And real quick, we're going to send it down to Ava. Ava?
All right, you ready? You don't even... All right, I'm here with student section leader Mick Pulis. Mick, show us your best dance moves tonight.
I was an American Idol. I won with this move, so that's called the whoa. Then you hit the reverse. Yeah, it's, and you hit the cha-cha. It's a thing. Yeah, peace out.
Thank you. Back to you, Noah and Ryan.
And we're back. Another great interview by Ava. I think there'll be a couple more of those left in this game. And so we're going to go into the fourth period of play in a moment.
After the field goal, the score is 20 Page High School and 7 for Siegel.
Yeah,
that was a crazy 85-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that was a great run. I mean, he got to that outside. He had the sideline as his friend in that one. And he had a lot of room to just run. And he outran Simon and all these fast guys on our team.
And, we talked about earlier just smash mouth football and just running the ball and running it just fast and hard. And you see that clearly happen. Just outrun, outlast. Yeah, hit him quick and just, get out fast.
Yeah, so if you look at our student section real quick, if you zoom in on our student section, you can see, they're doing a memorial for that nice little run that happened against us. They were going back and forth. And
they're kind of just swaying. It's a funeral because That that might have killed our that's what we talk about. We talk about the whole game, the mental game of football,
and how
much what everyone does on the field impacts yours.
And now they're starting to get hyped.
I think the first
Here we
he
go.
might have been out here for, but we see number 2 Ben Cyphers, that senior, 6'5", 6'6", a huge man out there playing on the offensive side of the ball today, folks.
Yeah, plays basketball, can get great hops, can run, can jump.
I mean, this man can throw it down like LeBron, and he's going to use that in football to use that defensive wingspan.
Oh, of course. Yeah, and after we were talking about them, like, being, like, all sad about that touchdown, right after we stopped talking about it, they started jumping up in the air, like, getting all hype and, like, enjoying this. Because, like, a lot of these guys, these seniors, this is their last year. They have 8 more games left, 7 more games left. They got Shelbyville, Lipscomb. They got a bye week, so that takes out a week. They got 2, 4, 6, 8. They got 8 games left, excluding the tournament. But, again, this is their last year as a high school football player, and
a lot of them won't play in college. So this is their their farewell, tour, and this means a lot.
They got a squib kick.
They squib
and the catcher's and the kicker's gonna get it.
Was that 10 yards?
I do believe it got right to that 10 yards.
This could be a close one, folks.
So,
Siegel with the ball.
Now
11:56 left in the fourth quarter. Siegel scores, and then onside kicks to get it back. Page not expecting it. Don't get the kick. So Siegel with possession, 7:20.
Now the problem with that one, the game now turns into a 2-possession drive, which
with
means that
Siegel in control of the game.
Siegel having the ball now, and we still got 12 minutes left to play.
Remember, folks, if Siegel can do a 2-point conversion on this, if they do score a touchdown and have a 2-point conversion, that'll make the score 15-20, a 1-possession game, in which just a touchdown could win Siegel the game.
Yeah, and again,
this is when Page. I feel like this is when Page's defense, which we've seen all day, do so well, needs to step it up just another level.
Yeah, and they do need to get that mental factor that they had back in the first quarter and the second quarter. Actually, just in the first half entirely.
I think this is when we need to rely, and we need to see Nolan Henry back. And Kate Ashman is back out there.
He's going to make that play around that corner.
Ryan Rutland back out there. We got number 21, Kobe Burns back there. The starters are back there. Hayes Barnett with the crazy interception earlier, back out there. Number 11, Max Van Landingham, somebody who's played quietly but played well all night.
Yeah, he hasn't made too many big plays, but he's been in there on every play.
But he's been on the hit. He's been on the crunch time.
Yeah, he's been around that corner, forcing them on that inside.
Definitely somebody. And that's what we talked about earlier. Just the whole team loving 11 men on the ball. It's gonna be a drop back. Number 16, the quarterback for Siegel. A long throw. We got 3 guys. It is gonna. Almost caught him. Would have been a touchdown.
That would have been very bad.
That was clean. Number receiver for Siegel. Good sportsmanship, by the way, lifting him up. Number 7 receiver, that would be Cam McGuire. He's ran a few times, just fumble with the ball, and then evidently just dropped it. Just good for the Patriots, and a devastating drop for the Siegel
The
Stars.
good thing with that one is that low key is it's like a hit to the stomach on that. Wow, you can make that a 1-possession game, and all of a sudden you miss it.
You can watch the sideline and watch the morale drop.
Yeah, and I know that can it can break the game, and it can also make the game in one play. And
it really can. So we're talking about 3rd and 6 on the 43-yard line of Page.
Yeah, and so
it's
they're
going to be a short ball.
It's going to be hit. That's going to make it about
4th down and 6. But with Siegel, I'm predicting that they're probably going to go for it again.
Okay. So, all right. So we're going to send it back down to Ava real quick before they punt this ball off. So Ava, here you are.
I need to start doing this. You're bad at those. Ava, here you are.
I know, it needs to be a
I'll do it next. All right? If we have one. All right, welcome back, folks. For those of you watching at home who've just hopped on, there's 11:09 left in the fourth quarter. The score is 20 Page, 7 Siegel. Siegel just scored an 85-yard touchdown at the end of the third quarter, and then at the beginning of the fourth, onside kicked and got the ball back. It's 4th down and 6 for Siegel on the 43-yard line of Page, and it's about shaping up to see if we punt or go for it. Personally, Ryan, I think they're going to go for it because,
Yeah, again, we're in the fourth quarter. They have nothing
they
left
just
to
scored,
lose.
and if they score and make a 2-point conversion, that'll be when it's, that's when it becomes real.
Yeah, but again, we need to talk about how we have some big games coming up. We got Shelbyville, and then we got our homecoming game. which you know the energy in here. We're gonna have this entire place packed. We're gonna have the home crowd. There's not gonna be a bleacher seat open, and then the defensive crowd. We're playing Lipscomb, and they got a bunch of people there.
Lipscomb homecoming. That will be a great game.
And so
it's going to be interesting because Lipscomb being a private school, you know, we don't know. Because as a private school, you definitely have a lot of advantages for if you want to build a program.
And
you say, come to my school because I'm bringing other people into my school.
Yeah. And so here's the problem. If this ball gets down to the
it's going to be at the 30.
That's going to be great. So it's going to be at the 20.
20-yard line. What great field position based on how that punt was going to end up.
So that was
very happy about that.
And that ball
What's good about that is
his head.
the Patriots now can milk the clock.
Yeah.
Milk the clock very like to the extreme level because if they just need to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. No passing unless you have to because there's 10:58 left. And you know, with Siegel getting that onside, you know, that worries me as, you know, as a fan, that worries me for what happens to the rest of this game, making it a 2 or a 1 possession game.
Yeah, and especially now that they got
because at first when you have that 20-0 shutout, you have confidence because you have fallback room. You know, 7-20, there's a little less room.
A muffed handoff.
Oh,
and
a hard hit.
On his butt.
That was number 6 who was hit pretty hard for
Ryan
Page.
Rutland was knocked down.
He's done very well today, but just on that jet sweep, just, you know, a smaller guy who doesn't play running back. You know, he's more of a wideout.
Yeah.
Doing that jet sweep play, there's pros and cons, right? You have the faster guy, but also you have less body, you know, and you're not used to taking those hits from those linemen.
Yeah, exactly. So, we need to worry about
and you see Page going in the huddle?
Defense. Yeah.
The defense of Siegel already knows what they're doing, evidently. You see the bigger guys of Siegel, you know, a lot of seniors. You know, you see those lower numbers usually mean, you know, seniors. And so I'm assuming, you know, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming a lot of these senior, bigger guys are playing on that D-line, and that's what I think scares Page. You have a lot of juniors and even sophomores sometimes playing on the O-line.
They had
what a
huge
play.
reaction.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow, that was a nice little 14-yard gain.
At least, no, I'm saying that's 17. He ran from the 20.
So we're going to cut it back down to Ava in just a moment. We're not going to go yet. We're going to cut down to her just in a moment.
But, you know, it's fantastic to see the versatility of this Page High offense. You've seen the run game.
Page High, how are we feeling tonight?
Great interview, Ava. You know, just lining up, you see a single back formation with with a dual tight end and 3 wideouts. So you got not a lot of linemen on this play. Oh, the tight end's blocking. You see a lot of blocking. Oh, it's a run play. Great fake by the quarterback, Cade Walker, I believe. I apologize. Cade Walker, the quarterback, great fake with the ball. I still thought he had it for a second there, folks. You know, for those of you watching at home, you know, Page has the ball, 2nd and 8 on the 36-yard line.
Yeah, and so, but we do need to talk about our defense because, I mean, our defense right there, they were just struggling. I mean, they let them, they kind of just got walked on for a moment. I mean, we did make the stop, but we were still being walked on.
It was definitely a later stop than we wanted, you know what I'm saying? Like early in the game, we had a lot of those great defensive plays, you know, the sacks and the stops.
Yeah, we had everything we wanted. We had the sacks, the interceptions,
but
the
after that touchdown by Siegel, that 85-yard run, the confidence, you can see it in their eyes and the way they're walking off the field.
Yeah, even
the confidence has been raised.
Yeah, but even before that, for us, I mean, we came out here after halftime like, oh, we're up 20-0. We're about to just shut them out. And so we were talking about this earlier about how they might end up being more sluggish than usual, like than they started. But if the way that they were acting when they started the game is a lot different to how they're going now. But I do believe that their coach might have yelled at them, and it's like
no, for sure. And I think the other thing is you know, smash mouth football, which we've been seeing all night. You know.
Yeah.
Smash mouth football, it doesn't only wear down the offensive team. You know, it wears down the defense because they were the ones having to run after and hit tackles by a guy who's charging at him full speed, you know. Yeah. So it's wearing down the defense, you know, and that's what Smash Mouth does, and that's why you see those big pass plays. Now, luckily the wide receivers have not been on their game for Siegel today. The wide receivers have been definitely off.
They haven't had
I think the game would be a totally different story had those wideouts done well.
If these wideouts do more, like they do more work, like they get more passes downfield and they get more catches downfield, I feel like that's also on part of the coach and the quarterback not being able to like connect on that, being like where they're getting the right throw and they're not getting the right like decision making. And we just had a timeout right there, by the way.
And it's back on the field, boys, and we have number 7,
So
Cade Walker back in the slot.
Yeah.
You know, hey, guess who's back in the backfield again, boys? It's Bubba Johnson. He has had some explosive plays, but for the most part, he's been quiet, which is not expected for a guy like this.
Yeah.
This is somebody who we expect for the most part to go play, you know, collegiate football in a SEC, you know, team. But I think that the quiet impact. I think they're saving him for the. I think they're saving him for the playoffs. You know, I think that Page expects to be in the playoffs, and I think they're resting their best players for that. You know, for the harder games against against your Ravenwoods, which we're not playing this year, but against maybe your Summits. We're definitely saving those for that kind of game, and we're saving it for the playoffs ultimately.
Yeah, so pretty much we need to worry about Centennial and Summit. And
Centennial is one of those huge 6A schools.
Yeah.
Over 2,000 people go to Centennial, I believe.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
a lot.
Massive compared to Page, almost 2 times the size, or even more possibly. And you know, a 6A versus a 5A. And you know, for the most part, you think, oh, that's not a big deal. It's not a big change. It really is, folks.
Yeah.
When you have that many people, you have that many more people on your football team. Our roster's made up of about, I don't know, 60, 70
Oh, that's going to be a great
people.
catch by Miles Bond, about 25-yard gain.
Very well played,
and he
Miles
got knocked
Bond.
out of bounds, and that looked like he had a little bit of a slow get
You know,
up, but he's good.
Cade Walker has been very adept at throwing the ball to different receivers. You know, it's not like Siegel. Siegel's had 2 or 3 guys the whole night that they've given the ball to, you know?
Yeah.
Page has been able to, you know, they have enough talent in the wideout, in the running back, that they're able to spread it out. You know, it's a spread offense. You're not counting on one receiver. You know, you're talking more about the Pro Bowl where you have everybody can throw versus, you know, your typical team, you know? And so what I love about that is that Siegel they can't double team somebody. They can't double team, you know, they can't double team Simon Simmons because he's fast.
No.
Because then because then Bubba Johnson in the backfield about to run into your faces. And then if you try to stuff the line, oh, you forgot. Guess what? Miles Bond's out there about to make a reception.
Miles and Simon and Eston. We got these wideouts.
And don't forget Blaine Burrow has made that one catch earlier.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well, and Bubba just ran that man
And
over.
Bubba just ran another 15 yards. Like, not 15, probably 3, but little bit of hyperbole, never hurt anybody, you know?
Yeah. And
but, you know, you see the versatility of the offense really playing a part in how the score, you know, in that place. I think that everything you do on the football team reflects in the score ultimately.
Oh, of course, yeah. And you get all these guys like that's what was so good about us last year. We had Michael Burdick, who was amazing. We had all these wide receivers that we have that are now seniors that were juniors last year. And we
you
had
see,
all this depth
and the biggest thing is you see the step up.
Yeah.
You see the leadership. You see the athleticism. Not because of that's born, right? But it's also worked.
Yeah.
You earn your athleticism. You know what I'm saying? You work. Like, look at this. Bubba Johnson again.
Yeah.
Another 5-yard gain.
Another 3 or 4 yards. Yeah.
You know, that could be a first down potentially, or it could be a really close first. They might even consider going for that.
3rd and 1. Yeah, and I do believe that they're going to go for this real quick.
3rd down and 2.
Yeah, and
great gain. You know, they have to go for this. You know, I think it's going to be a play action pass because I think they're all assuming Bubba Johnson's going to get the snap.
Yeah, and so the problem with this is that they have to also worry about clock. I mean, they're trying to burn the clock.
And that's what they're doing. Watch the play clock. They're going to milk it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're trying to get that. They're trying to get the game clock down to about 15 seconds. And then
not even that. I'm talking 10-5.
Yeah, well, they're trying to get staying in the huddle until about 10, 15 seconds, and they're walking out to the line and just trying to milk as much time. And we got Bubba Johnson just rolling right through them, and that is a
Bubba
first
Johnson
down
did
right
run.
there.
That's going to be a first down, folks.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a first down.
And the chains are being moved.
Yeah, and so, but honestly, though, Bubba, not that big of a guy. Again,
he's you know, he's one of those new elite, you know, generation of running backs where you see the guys like Saquon Barkley. They're small, and they're fast, and they run hard.
Yeah, and they run over people, and they run to the outside, and they can get down the field quick, and they outrun wide receivers. I mean, cornerbacks, and
it's crazy the talent that we have. The way that skills. The way that skills for positions are changing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the requirements to play running back are different. You know, it used to be the biggest guy on your team because he could blister through guys. Now it's like the smallest guy on your team is the fastest, you know?
Yeah, and if you look at our O-line, compared to their D-line's huge. And we have 1 or 2 guys that are about the same
But you
weight.
see the guys, Cade Ashman, you know?
Yeah.
You see Cade Ashman, Jacob Dahl, guys who are busting it out. Oh, it's another QB sneak. What a play, Cade Ashman. What a play, Cade Ashman. Two sneaks, at least by 50 yards.
Yeah, nice run by Cade Walker.
Cade Walker.
I
apologize,
good 15,
folks.
20 yards.
We have at least 4 Cates on our roster. I apologize about that, folks. Cade Walker, 2 rushes, but at least a combined 50 to 60 yards.
Yeah, and so that was an insane run by him because
and everyone thinks, oh look, Bubba Johnson faking the ball well, like the whole dog pile piled up on top of him.
Yeah, but again though, we have all these people. they run the ball up the middle 4 or 5 times in a row, and they switch it over to Cade faking the handoff and running around, and everybody believes that the ball's going to Bubba again. And they're already on Bubba, and right there, Ryan Rutland, they subbed out Bubba and put in Ryan Rutland, and he got
definitely.
a good,
yes, Ryan.
Yeah, he got a good 3 yards on that one.
That's just the truth. We're talking a 2nd down and 10 on the 14-yard line of Siegel. This could be a potential score, and I think this would seal the game. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
With 5 minutes left in the game, do you think that a 27-7 margin would definitely? I think that definitely seals the game for Page.
It makes it another 3
I think now, if they don't score here, it's up for grabs.
Yeah, and we just had a grasshopper land on our camera, so that's funny. It's just walking around up here now. I think
it was on my hand earlier, and I just flicked it off. Oh my God, it's on my body. that is kind of nasty.
It's like flying around.
He just loves football almost as much as I do. Oh
no! Yeah, and it's gonna fly down to there. Okay, so it's gone.
And it's gone now, but we missed the play because we were worried about the grasshopper.
So it was pretty much just a run up the middle, and he got about 3 or 4 yards.
4:30 left in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 3 for your Patriots on the 7-yard line.
Yeah, but honestly, the way that they've driven the ball down the field and gotten there.
And this is just what you would have talked about. They've milked the clock from 11 minutes to 4, and they're about to score, and this will seal the game.
Yeah, and again though, talk about all these people. We got the kids in the student section, and we got
and they are
the
still.
band
Can I just
and
mention
other
that
kids.
the student section, the biggest thing to me is that they don't sit down when the football team's not sitting down.
Oh, of course.
And that's the beautiful thing, as we talked about earlier. The team is the team, and that includes the 13th man, the fans.
Yeah, and and Bubba Johnson just got stuffed again at the yard. I
4th
think he
and
might have
3.
been a loss. Yeah.
We may go for it, or
Nah,
we're going to kick it. And that should seal the game.
Are we going to bring in the kicking team?
Yeah, we are going to bring in the kicking team. This is going to be.
Didn't go out there. Oh yeah, he went out there. I didn't see
Chase
him, though.
Tidmore, somebody who's kicked 6, 5.
I think he just kicked his 6 a minute ago.
6
or maybe
6.
5th. I think it's 5.
He's at least 5 for 5 from the field tonight, guys.
Yeah, and
we talked about him extensively earlier, just being a great player for the team.
Yeah,
lining up again for an easy 20-yard field goal.
Let's go back to last week. He was
15-yard field goal.
He was 7 for 7, and they're gonna call a flag on the play. So last week against Fairview, he was 7 for 7 on touchbacks, and he had 6. He went 6 for 6 on field goals, and he was just encouraging our team to do more and more and more. And
he's one of those guys where the coaches of the other team may start watching film on kickers just to be prepared for Chase Tidmore.
Yeah, and right there was a false start on the offense. I couldn't tell who.
But even still, Chase Tidmore is not afraid of a 20-yard field goal.
Yeah, well now it's going to be about a 30-yard field goal, but honestly though, it's still.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, it's still going to be.
And but I don't think. He's kicked 40.
Oh, and that's going to be. Oh, and Eston got on the ball. Okay, so Eston Snyder saw the ball was a bad snap, and he just dove on it. So even though that they're cheering that they have the ball, they're now on the 19-yard line.
With only 2:46 left in the game,
2 minutes and 46.
I think that this will be more of a pity drive than anything else in this game.
I do
the
believe
game
that
is over. There is no offense, but I'm going to call it now. The score will end at best 20-14.
Yeah.
At worst, I believe it will truly be 27. I don't think Siegel scores on this drive.
So here's a problem. Siegel might score, but the problem is it's still 20-14 or 13 if they make the field goal. I don't know. We've had some weird field goals this game.
They did muff that first one pretty badly.
And they did have a bad punt earlier. And so
I think with this whole thing they have terrible field position.
Oh, and he's hit behind the line, and they're gonna get him. And
that's what I'm saying. Look, the incompletion, the defense is on fire, and they're at a terrible field position. A minute 38, they have to use the timeout. They're not gonna score on this drive.
We're so confident that we're winning this game that we're clearing out our student section to come onto the field for the in-game rush.
The game is either way. The game's over. It's just if they score on this drive or not. Right?
Yeah, honestly though, it's one of those things. It's one of those mental things. If they can get down to about R20, or our 30.
They might score, but they have a 238. Do you really think they can do that, Ryan?
If they do that,
they have
play
to
that
have
they
some
ran
passes.
earlier,
But you know that Coach Bone knows that the passes are going to be there. That's why he's got Hayes Barnett, the man who did that crazy interception earlier. He's got to play in safety.
And they got Simon, who also made an interception. But they're also worried about that outside run, the one that they scored that 85-yard run on.
You see Pat Boykins again out there.
Yeah.
Is he out there? I think
he's a big man. He's not that big, just like you said earlier.
He's built.
Yeah.
He's a short guy, but he's huge as far as he has a frame that's a pretty big frame.
Yeah, and so if he runs the ball, we have to make sure that he's inside.
And so that's where you find the gray line between zone and blitz.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that if you blitz him, you have somebody get into those corners.
This is what I'm talking about.
Push him back in.
That's why you have Simon Simmons and Hayes Barnett out there. That's because those are possibly two of the best corners in our division, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
like
they're really fast,
and
they're gonna have a pick.
It's another pick!
And
oh my gosh!
And that is gonna be the game.
This is Hayes Barnett again, second pick of the game.
And
this could be a touchdown.
Oh, great block!
Touchdown!
It's going to be blocking the back. And oh my God, Cade Ashman, if somebody could show the replay, Cade Ashman hit this kid from the side and shot him off onto his track.
Hayes Barnett, pick 6. Hayes
They're going to give him
Barnett.
that. But I do believe that they're going to bring this one back because of that unnecessary roughness from the side. I don't think they'll call that block in the back, but that will be unnecessary roughness. These refs have been pretty shorthanded on
Hayes Barnett, though.
Yeah.
Hayes Barnett.
Second interception of the game.
The defensive secondary carried tonight by Hayes Barnett and Simon Simmons, just really doing work. 2 interceptions by Hayes Barnett, one by Simon Simmons, both for great yardage.
Yeah.
Like when Paige intercepts, it's not for change, for penny change yards. They're taking 20, 30 yards of an interception, which is insane.
Yeah. So if we can talk about our student section real quick. If you look over
there, they are not calling that a touchdown, folks. That will be
they're going to bring that ball back. But if you zoom in and you can see somebody, you see all this white, you see the sea of white, and you see the sea of red.
And that's, folks, because it's white out today
we got
here
white
at Page High School.
Here. Yeah, but we have all these guys celebrating. We have all our student section. We have student leaders.
Everyone is still on their feet. I think that's just a symbol to the spirit of the school and the spirit of the football team.
Yeah,
right?
and they brought everybody out on the field because they're gonna rush the field.
There is 2:19 left.
And there's cops sending them back.
First down and 10-yard line.
The cops are sending them back.
They're on the 25-yard line. They are being pushed back, but that just shows the spirit again.
So we're about to cut after the next play. So. Just a heads up on that.
Just thank you for all y'all watching at home. This is Page High Football. I'm Noah Franklin.
And I'm Ryan Griggs.
All right, I'm here with Dr. Pantel. How do you feel about this year's season?
Really good about our season. The kids are working really hard. They put in a lot of time all summer, so it's great to see how it's going tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Back to you, Ryan and Noah.
And we're back.
For the last time tonight,
for the last time tonight. I don't believe that there will be any more interviews with our lovely Ava Hapgood.
But thank you for all you did tonight, Ava. You did a great job.
We're so excited for the rest of the year, and we're so excited to see what other kids in our TV and film classes can do. And
for those of you who can't make the Page games, just keep watching. If you can, definitely try to come. It's a lot different in person. I'm sure all of you know that.
It's a lot better.
This is Page High News. I'm Noah Franklin.
Yeah, and I'm Ryan Griggs.
Signing off. Or not. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, folks.
Hey, there's a difference between cut and send to Avon. Said cut, so we think that you meant cut the game off.
And it's just a great thing. You see the student section, even though they're being corralled back by the police officers, they're still at the fence line. They're ready to jump over and charge onto the field as soon as the final whistle is blown. You hear the Siegel band still blowing and playing patriotically, even though they're taking kind of a little bit of a slaughter.
Yeah.
You see
So the problem is that there's 2 minutes left, and I don't know why the clock hasn't started, but
I believe there was a timeout, or there was something conflicting with the refs, I believe, actually.
Here's a problem. They have a backup quarterback in, number 3.
That'll be Trey Fonts, and he's also a senior, but he just hadn't had the touches. I mean, obviously, there's a QB race, you know, and
yeah, we got Cade,
and he beat him out, you know, and so it's all fair, right? But this is when you get to see, hey, look, coach, I can play starting. You know, this is when you start seeing the backup guys.
And all this. Yeah, this is the chance that he gets. I mean, even though coach is trying to hold down, to stop the clock and just burn the rest of it.
1:54, it's counting down. They're not going to waste a timeout. I think Siegel's out of timeout. That's why the clock hasn't started, Ryan.
Yeah.
They called a timeout as soon as they went on the field.
Timeout. So I think they're just going to burn the rest of the time.
I think they'll kneel it, honestly.
No, I don't believe that they'll kneel it in this formation. I feel like they'll try to get
some
more
more in this
yards.
formation, no, but in my mind they should, but whatever.
Yeah.
1:30 left on the game clock, folks.
Keep in mind, it's second and about 15, and they need to. Oh, Ryan Rutland around that outside. Oh, he's going to get knocked down in the backfield with a loss
but
of
at this
about
point,
3.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If they get the ball, it'll be 20 seconds. They can't win the game anymore.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, it's just a mental,
it is.
keep them from scoring.
It's for Paige to just see what they can do, you know.
Yeah, and we might be able to see.
Number 50 out there do face Trip Hancock, playing once again.
Yeah.
Has not played for a while. Number 61 out there, Matthew White. We have not seen him for a while either.
Yeah, number 54 we saw last drive. He made
William
some great
Romero,
blocks.
doing well on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Number 72 just mentioned.
Guards.
I want to bring back up that Jacob Dahl, injured earlier, is back again on the field. Just very great.
Yeah.
Number 8 out there, Till Cheshire. We've seen him a few times tonight. Just a handoff. Oh, spin move did not help. Still loss of yards. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, maybe not. He's
fighting for it. The whole team's fighting for it, and he's down with probably a gain of a few yards.
A gain of a couple, but now we're going to be able to see
30 seconds left in the game, folks.
Yeah.
It looks like the final score will be 27.
Yeah.
Not sure, though.
And I feel like they're just going to
20
kneel
seconds
it.
remaining. They're going to kneel it now, folks.
Yeah, I feel like they're just going to kneel it, give it to them, and just let them do whatever they want with the ball. Or they might just burn out the rest of the clock, and if not, they're just going to be sitting there. It's going to be hut, and then just lay down. No risk in hurting anybody if that's not the rest of the game. And if that is the rest of the game, they are lining up. Your final score of tonight's game